This is Mary Witt. She's the executive producer of What's New in Libraries. You've seen her in a variety of segments if you're a regular follower of this program. But here's a special little option for you in this particular program. Where's Mary? She appears in one of the segments. Stay tuned, and if you see her, send us a message, and there'll be prizes. The big prize is a gift certificate to Barnes & Noble, but there'll be other prizes too. Where's Mary? Let us know. So write to us if you'd like. What's New, care of me, Sarah Long, North Suburban Library System, 200 West Dundee Road, Wheeling, Illinois, 60090. Or if you prefer, send us an email. What's New, NSLSILUS.org. Tell us where Mary is. We want to know. Hello, I'm Sarah Long, Director of the North Suburban Library System, and your hostess for What's New in Libraries. We have a great show today. One of the things we're going to do is to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the North Suburban Library System, where I work, so I'm pretty excited about that. You know, in the years that I've worked here at North Suburban, a question I'm often asked is, well, what does North Suburban do? It's not really a library. Well, we will tell you what we do for our member libraries and how our services have a great impact on the public. All of that will be revealed. And then we're going to the Prospect Heights Library District and talk with Bill McCulley. Prospect Heights is the newest member of the Library Cable Network. And actually, Bill McCulley is a new library director.
Well, I think Library Cable Network offers us lots of opportunities, Sarah, to reach new audiences in our community. We have a lot of people who are moving into town who perhaps have moved from other countries, and television is their way of getting oriented in the community.
Good morning. I'm Michael Mulholland, the Junior Librarian here at the
Have you ever noticed how hard it is to find information in the suburban area? Well, the answer is NorthStarNet. About 5 years ago, the North Suburban Library System realized this was an information need, and so we created NorthStarNet. I hope you'll look at it on the internet. The URL is www.nsn.org. We started with only 4 libraries who were willing to go out and organize all of the community resources. Skokie was one of our pioneers. Now there are well over 65 communities in our area participating, and you can find all sorts of information from restaurants to churches, synagogues, daycare groups, some businesses, all kinds of information on NorthStarNet. It's a North Suburban deal, but many of our communities and our libraries are involved. Let's go to Skokie and see how they've done it as they celebrate 5 years of SkokieNet.
You know, I am so delighted that SkokieNet has blossomed over 5 years from the little vision that we had so many years ago of how we could help people in the community connect with SkokieNet. What I don't think we ever dreamed, not only how much the individuals would connect, but how much organizations would connect with SkokieNet and with each other. And the impact that SkokieNet could have as a catalyst to really, truly forming a network within the community. I think that's been one of the most exciting things for me about SkokieNet.
Well, it really is a celebration of what NorthStarNet is all about, which is focusing on the local public library and its role as the information resource in the community. As you know, NorthStarNet is a community information network for all of Chicagoland, but a big purpose, one of the main purposes of NorthStarNet, is to help the local public library strengthen and retain its role as the community information resource, both physically and then now in cyberspace or virtually. And so this celebration really focuses on one of our strongest and most long-term NorthStarNet communities, which is SkokieNet. They were one of the early NorthStarNet communities, and they've done a wonderful job and brought in an incredibly diverse membership. If you go to their website at www.skokienet.org, you'll see an incredible range of cultural, arts, religious, civic, and just general community organizations online that they're providing with a means of sharing their information.
We have a lot of things that we do in Israel and actually all over the world. We do a lot of emergency rescues whenever there's a bombing or a disaster, whenever there's a terrorist attack, those kinds of things. We also do all the blood work for the entire Middle East. Whenever somebody needs an emergency transfusion, our organization provides those supplies to the hospitals. We are the ambulance services for the Israel and the entire Middle East. So the reason why we wanted to get on the internet was to explain what we do to the largest possible audience that we could get, knowing that the internet, the boundaries are limitless. And we thought, okay, the internet is our best avenue for reaching tens of thousands of people at any given time. Actually, as a local resident of Skokie, I frequent the public library, the local public library, and actually in speaking with Francis and a number of other people here, they had suggested when we were just moving to the north suburbs, our organization was originally in Chicago, and they said this would be a great opportunity for you. We'll design a page for you and get you started. And literally, once we had just that one simple page up, we had probably in the first month 100 emails from people all over the world expressing interest in learning more about us. And it grew from there. It continued to grow and get bigger and bigger to the point now where we're probably seen anywhere from 500 to 1,000 times every couple of days.
In the beginning, it was static. It was just, solid, good content about all the resources that are available. And it was very accessible to anyone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Since then, we've added more interactivity. We have individual web pages for many of the organizations. In fact, we've come to over 500 organizations on our website, over 100,000 hits per month. And we're finding that people are using it. It's the premier portal site for Skokie, Illinois. So anything you want to know about Skokie, you can find it in our SkokieNet. The address for SkokieNet, or URL as it's termed, is www.skokienet.org. That's SkokieNet with an SkokieNet.org.
My name is Barbara Goodfriend. I am the SkokieNet volunteer. I go door to door all over our community talking about SkokieNet and how wonderful this service is from our library. This is a free public service. It is a listing of all our businesses and services, and it is a fun thing for me to do.
Hi, I'm Bill Pardue, Electronic Resources Specialist at the Arlington Heights Memorial Library. Winter's upon us, and that that means it's time for winter cooking. You know, a lot of folks can't have enough cookbooks around the house, but it's also fun to search for recipes on the World Wide Web. If you need turkey tips, check out the Butterball Turkey website at www.butterball.com. It includes their 10 steps to a perfect turkey. Of course, when it's cold, it's time for soup. So try a visit to www.souprecipe.com. It's got recipes for bean soups, stews, chowders, even fruit and dessert soups. Maybe you're just looking around for new cooking ideas for the season. You might enjoy allrecipe.com, which is the parent site of both holidayrecipe.com and souprecipe.com. It's got thousands of recipes submitted by readers who also write reviews of the recipes once they've tried them. You can search by recipe name or ingredient, or you can browse through one of the 20 food categories, from appetizers to dessert. Of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Why not have a look at foodtv.com, the website for the TV Food Network, or epicurious.com, which is affiliated with Bon Appetit and Gourmet magazines. The internet is loaded with recipe sites. If you need still more, just go to your favorite search engines such as Yahoo, Lycos, or Alta Vista, and just search for the word recipes. Then start browsing your way to flavorful living. And remember, if you don't have access to the internet at home, or if you need help looking up that perfect dessert recipe, whether it's online or in a cookbook, you can always find help at your library.
Several years ago, we at North Suburban realized that libraries would never have enough money, and that besides tax dollars, that we needed to help our member libraries raise money. And to facilitate that, we created a foundation that works as a community foundation for libraries. It's about 5 years old now, and it's done very well. One of the things that we started in the beginning, about 5 years ago, was the literary circle. We did this for two reasons. One was as a service to bring first-rate, world-class authors to our area so that people could get a chance to see them up close and personal. You know, if you've read all the Toni Morrison books, it's a real thrill to see her as a person right in front of you and get a chance to get her autograph your book. And we had Toni Morrison as a part of our literary circle several years ago. We've also had some other wonderful authors in the several years that we've been doing this. But the other great aspect of the literary circle, sponsored by the foundation, is that it's a fundraiser. We make money. And with this money, we turn it back to our libraries. We have a series of innovation grants that we offer. One of the innovation grants was really a terrific one. When ebooks first came out several years ago, the Algonquin Public Library had the idea to buy a few and circulate them and see what their public thought of them. And that was made possible by a small innovation grant from the North Suburban Library Foundation. Have a look at www.nslfoundation.org. We just talked about the need for libraries to raise money, and North Suburban helps with this. A year or so ago, we received a federal grant to help our libraries expand their services, and really, it's a great impact on the public. It's called the Family Explorer Card. Sharon Ball is with us. Sharon, what is the Family Explorer Card?
Well, the Family Explorer Card was really a copy of a very successful program that the Chicago Public Library has had in place for 5 years called the Check It Out program. And basically, we brought it to the North Suburban Library System area. And this program enables patrons of libraries, in fact, 42 public libraries, most of the libraries in our system, to circulate Family Explorer cards that the patron will check out with their local library card. And when they check this card out, they can take it to a local museum, and it waives the fees to those museums. So they can go and enjoy the resources and the wonderful activities that our local libraries, our local museums and our local historical societies have to offer our families.
So the next time my grandchildren visit, I can go to my library, the Deerfield Public Library,
Correct.
and check out the Family Explorer card and take the grandchildren, say, to Health World.
Absolutely, and they have marvelous opportunities for families there. And I should mention, Sarah, too, and I know you know this, that family in this program is defined as any relative. You know, we are encouraging not only grandparents and grandchildren, but also siblings, adult siblings, and seniors to take advantage of the Family Explorer card. It's a great opportunity.
Great program, Sharon. Thanks for telling us about it. Another grant the North Suburban Library System received was to really promote the learning organization. We've worked for a number of years to become a learning organization ourselves, but this grant really extended the learning organization idea out to some of our member libraries. With us today is Jan Hayes, who's been the pioneer in the spirit of the learning organization here at North Suburban. Jan, that's a very interesting hat you have on.
Yep. This hat kind of represents the pioneer spirit of the learning organization. It's sort of a way that organizations, there's no one way to be a learning organization. So we talk about being on the journey and exploring what works for us as an organization. And so the hat sort of symbolizes that type of approach.
Could you tell our viewers what a difference the learning organization has made either here or in the libraries who were the beneficiaries of this grant?
We had 4 libraries ultimately that participated in this grant. They were all public libraries. And every one of them felt that it made a profound difference in how they served the public. They found that their staff was more empowered to make decisions at the point of service, that people cooperated better, providing better service for the people that came into the library. The leaders had to work to kind of give up a little power, and that was difficult, but the staff kind of bloomed and blossomed under the whole different type of organizational structure.
And so it sounds like that the general public not only benefited from improved service, but also they got really a better output for their tax dollars.
Yes, I would say that the people working with the public felt much more, they felt empowered. They also felt that they were more committed to what they were doing. They had a say in how they organized the work and how they carried through with it. And I think this came across with a friendlier staff and also a more energetic staff, and people kind of always looking for ways to do things better.
Well, you know I'm an advocate and I'm a true believer, but you're the woman with the hat, so I'll follow you. One of the most innovative grants we've ever received here at North Suburban is a grant about the Human Genome Project, and the grant actually came from the U.S. Department of Energy. This is a brainchild of one of our staff members, Miriam Pollock, and Miriam is here now to say what the Human Genome Project is at North Suburban and how much money it has and what will happen.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you. The Department of Energy, as you might have heard in the news, has really spent a lot of time and energy mapping out the human genome. Mapping out the human genome. And they were perplexed about how to really get that information out to the public. And our project basically suggested that they use public libraries to do so. And we got a grant for $225,000 to, one, do some research with the community to find out what the concerns and fears and interests are of the general public related to genetic development in the Human Genome Project, and then to do a number of programs in each of the libraries to inform the community. And each program is based on the needs of their specific community and interests. And there are 11 libraries participating. Right now they're getting materials in the library, and the programs will start next summer.
So, for further information, people can get in touch with their library, and if their library isn't a participant, they can be directed to one of the libraries that is.
Right.
Hi, I'm Sarah Long. I'm the director of the North Suburban Library System. This is the information age, and sometimes we all get overwhelmed and don't know where to go. It's so confusing. Who can you trust? Can that internet site be real? Well, at your library, there's a professional behind the reference desk, and this person can really help you understand what's accurate, what can be believed.
Librarians can help you sort out the answers because you are being bombarded with information from everywhere. If you come to your library, if you call into your library, you have trained staff who know all the resources, can make evaluations of the sources that they're using to give you an answer, and have lots of ideas. And you get experienced librarians who have done this for years who immediately know where they can direct you for an answer if it's not within the library walls. It's a great value for your tax dollar. You should use it.
Find the telephone number of your local public library and put it by your telephone. Remember, you can meet your information needs at the library. One of the things we do here at North Suburban is pull together information from all of our member libraries. Remember the old-fashioned card catalog that libraries used to have? Well, now, of course, everything's online. Anna Yackel is with us today, and Anna's going to tell us how this all works in the computer age. How do we pull together all of that information from libraries, Anna?
Well, it's wonderful with the computers these days, all the stuff that we can do. So now we have a catalog having over 200 of our member libraries and many thousands of titles, as well as videos, books on cassette, just a wide variety of materials that you wouldn't even think you would be able to find. And we have special libraries represented.
What's a special library?
Well, a special library is a corporate library. Some of our museums have their own libraries. It's something that's not like a public or an academic library.
Well, now, can I search this on my computer at home, or do I have to go to the library to see it?
That's one of the great things, is that you can do it from home in your pajamas if you want to. And all you have to do is go to our homepage, which is www.nslsilus.org.
Could you say that again?
Sure. www.nslsilus.org.
And then once we get to the home page, how do we get to LIAison? That is the name of the database.
Yes, there is a little icon on the very first page that says LIAison. So you can just click on that, and it'll take you to this catalog that has all of the members' holdings.
What does LIAison stand for?
Libraries in Association, and it's basically one of the things we do here is resource sharing, and this is a great example of that.
Well, do the people around here use it a lot?
Yes, they do. Interlibrary loan is one of the key functions of LIAison, and people use the catalog to find books in other libraries and have them sent to their library, or to go there themselves and visit.
So it can work both ways. It can be self-service, or you can ask your library to help you.
That's correct.
It sounds like a great service. Thank you for telling us about it. We talked to Anna Yackel about the LIAison, which is our way of sharing resources among member libraries so that you have access to all kinds of library materials from your home computer, and you can get the benefit of all the libraries in our area. But the real key, the real wheels that make this library resource sharing go are our delivery department. With us is Larry Krenos, who's the head of our delivery service. Larry, tell us about our delivery. How is it? We have vans, drivers. How does it work?
Well, we have vans that go out every morning at 5 a.m. There's 3 full-time routes and 1 part-time route that goes out at 8. And we cover about 1,875 miles a week. And we cover 49 public libraries as well as dozens of college libraries. And we also cover professional libraries and school libraries as well.
So tell me this. I live in Deerfield. Suppose I go to Northbrook and borrow a book, and then I return it, say, to Glenview. How is that book going to get back to Northbrook?
What will happen is when the book is returned to Deerfield, they'll put it in the bags that we pick up every morning. They'll have it earmarked for Northbrook, and the following business day, that book will be taken to Northbrook.
Oh, I see. And so when I want to borrow a book and I want to use LIAison, it can come to me in a couple of days?
Sure. Any library that has your book will be put it in the bag, and it'll be delivered to your driver for delivery the next business day.
That's great. What a tremendous service. And I really commend people who get up early in the morning, even on icy, cold days. And from my 10 years here at North Suburban, we've missed very few days in my memory.
As far as I know, we haven't missed any days that I know, and over about the last 10 years or so, the guys have been out every day.
That's great. I want want you to tell us a little bit about the learning organization. We talked to Jan Hayes a moment ago, and she reminded me about the time when you wanted to go on your vacation, but you were short-staffed, and you volunteered not to take your vacation. But then, what happened?
Well, the learning organization is like meaning teamwork to me because I was volunteering not to go on vacation because of the shortage of employees, but I wrote down all my responsibilities, and some of my fellow employees divvied up those responsibilities and covered for me while I was going to be on vacation. So because of that, I was able to go and still make sure that everything that I was responsible for was covered properly.
Now, were these employees in the delivery department, or?
In some cases, they were from the delivery department, but otherwise they were administrative assistants from up front and other people in the building who took it upon themselves to volunteer and help me out while I needed them.
So, great testimonial for the learning organization. Thanks, Larry. We're here at the Prospect Heights Public Library, the newest member of Library Cable Network. We're joined today by Bill McCulley, who's the new director of the Prospect Heights Library. Bill, tell us, why as a new director did you want the library to join Library Cable Network?
Well, I think Library Cable Network offers us lots of opportunities, Sarah, to reach new audiences in our community. We have a lot of people who are moving into town who perhaps have moved from other countries, and television is their way of getting oriented in the community. We're also interested in reaching audiences that may be audio-visual oriented rather than print oriented. And then thirdly, we're very interested in getting even bigger audiences for the programming we do here in the library and offering a wider variety of programming through the other member libraries of Library Cable Network.
Those are great reasons. I'm convinced why it's a good idea. Can you give us a sort of a little tease about some of the programs here that might be unique?
Well, we recently had one that was very interesting. It was an English tea, and there was an expert on tea who came and talked about the various varieties of tea, and then people were encouraged to come and bring their favorite teacup or teapot with them and talk about them to the other people that were there. That was a very interesting program.
I would have liked that. As a tea drinker, I could also tell you how most restaurants could improve their tea service.
Another one that was interesting was a program on angels that we had. Angels are a very in topic these days, and we had a local expert on angels who actually appeared later on in the week on 2020. So we were very pleased to have her here in the library for that program.
And you saw it here first at the Prospect Heights Public Library. We should have had that on Library Cable Network in Scoop 2020. Well, I'm sure that the other members of Library Cable Network are delighted to have you in their company. And we'll look forward to future shows where we feature some of the programs you have here at the library.
That'll be great. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thanks for watching What's New in Libraries. And don't forget to visit your library often. Join us here next time. We'll look forward to it.